A little crazy out here when we start talking about sin. People don't like to talk about sin all that much. I come out here today, I've been working hard all day. I'm a hard-working man. I've been working, trying to earn my bread. And anyway, so I know a lot of you guys do the same thing. Y'all work hard. But you know, one thing you cannot work for is the kingdom of heaven. You cannot get your works will not get you into heaven. Your works actually are like filthy rags. The Bible says that our works are like a tampon, a used nasty tampon to a holy God. It says, all our righteous deeds are as filthy rags. Filthy rags, my friend. So if you think you're going to get to heaven because you've lived a good life, God says that our good deeds will get us there, won't even get us close. Think about this, too. God knows everything that we've ever done. Your conscience is recording everything right now. You know, we talk about the surveillance state. They got cameras up on the corners here. They watch us all the time. They're doing all this sort of stuff. But guess what? God watches everything that we do. He takes account. He says that no idle word will get, every idle word will give an account of on the day of judgment. So that means everything you ever do or say is going to be accountable. That day's coming out for the white man, for the black man, for the rich man, the poor man. It doesn't make any difference. All people will have to stand before God and get judged. And see, I come out here because I don't want to see that happening. I don't want you to go into judgment without a good lawyer. You got to have that lawyer. And without that lawyer, you'll face your own penalty. You'll face your own sin on Judgment Day. And guess what? You got to have that lawyer Jesus, who died on your behalf. And it's not just knowing about him, because I can know that I got $1 million in the bank with my grandmother, but unless I go get it, it ain't mine. It's the same way with Jesus. You got to receive the gift of salvation from Jesus Christ. Matthew chapter 7 says, many, many people will say to me on the day of judgment, Lord, Lord, didn't I prophesy in your name? Didn't I cast out demons in your name? Didn't I heal the sick in your name? And he'll say, depart from me. I never knew you who practice lawlessness. So God knows when we're playing games with him. He knows we're clowning around with him playing games. And he said, don't play any games with me anymore. I know in your heart. I know what's in your heart. And see, he wants to come in and give us a clean heart. So we don't have to go looking for women all the time and lusting, looking for drugs, stealing, lying, using his name disrespectfully. He'll come in and give us a new heart so that we can stand before him with a clean heart. He gives it to us as a gift. That's the amazing thing about God, man. He gives us the gift of a new heart because we don't deserve it. The Bible says that we are enemies of his, separated by our wicked deeds. God says that we are separated from him. All right, my brother. Be safe. That's the great thing about preaching with wheels. You can be mobile. You can be the mobile preacher. That's right. A little bit different out here. The Christians that are out here right now, we don't want your money. We just want to see you become saved from your sins. As a matter of fact, when I have a little more money in my account, I used to give money away. We're different. We're different. Some preachers, they ask for your money, and I know a lot of people that are like that. I don't either, man. I don't like people shaking me down for money in the name of God. Money grubbers. Money grubbers. You don't want no money grubbers. What you want is Jesus. Jesus is not a money grubber. He wants your heart. He wants to give you a new heart. That's the amazing thing about Christ, man, is Christ died to set us free from not only the stuff that we've done, but he also gives us a new heart. He transforms our heart so that we don't have to go after the slop anymore, the bad stuff, the lying, the stealing, the fornication, the adultery, the drunkenness, all that sort of stuff. Now you may ask yourself, oh man, you Christians, man, y'all are better than everybody else. And actually, man, a real Christian sees himself as a wicked man that's been saved by a good and kind God. We don't stand before God going, hey, yo, look at me, look how holy and right I am. we'll look at Jesus and say, oh man, thank you for saving me, a wicked man. Because I've looked at the law. I don't know about you guys, but when I look at those 10 laws that God gave to Moses, I see those things and say, man, I am so guilty. I've lied, I've coveted, I've stolen, I've looked with lust, I've committed adultery, I've used God's name in vain, I've dishonored my parents, I've dishonored the Sabbath day, I've had idols in my life, and I ain't put God first all the time. And guess what happens to people? These are an infringement against God, because guess what? God's character, he doesn't lie. God's character is he doesn't steal. He doesn't commit adultery. God's character is reflected in the 10 Commandments. It shows us how good he is. See, you don't want to trust me, and I don't want to trust you, because we're going to disappoint each other eventually. There's very few people that you've met that you're not going to be disappointed with at some time in your life with those people. But Jesus will never disappoint you. Are bad circumstances going to happen? Of course. But Jesus never disappoints, because he never lies or steals. He's always honest. He's always obedient. He always obeys. Think about that, man. He is a true friend that you can trust on, or you cannot trust on anybody else. See these people walking around, they seem like good people, but man, if we put a little video recorder in their mind and recorded what they thought about during the week, I don't think any of us would want that video to be shown, but we think about our friends, really, or what we think about our people that we know. If they really knew what we thought about them, they'd never talk to us again. But my friend, God's not like that. God's pure. He'll give you a pure mind and let you change your heart about stuff that you love. Some of you may be addicted to things, man. You might be addicted to sex. You might be addicted to drugs. You might be addicted to partying. There's a lot of things that people are addicted to. But what Christ does is he comes in and gives you a new heart about that, so you can live a life of holiness and purity before him. And God says, without holiness, nobody will see the Lord God. So how does a man like us get holy that's broken God's law? We got to repent. Repent doesn't just mean I'm saved. God, I'm sorry. It says, God, not only am I sorry, but I don't want to do it anymore. I don't want to do it. I want to turn from that sin once and for all. But I want to put my faith and trust in Jesus. All right, sister, you have a good one. God bless you. Enjoy Israel. All right, there goes a sister to Israel. God bless her, man. I wish I could go with her. Going to Jerusalem. Going to the Holy Land, as they call it. Well, anyway, man, God is a holy God, and he cannot look upon sin because he's too pure. So that's why we all hide under Christ. It's just like Noah's Ark. Noah's Ark was a great example of Jesus and what he does. See, Noah believed God, and he started building that ark when God commanded him, he and his sons. And he worked on that thing for like I think it was over 100 years. I can't remember the exact amount of time, but it was a long time. And so God promised him, man, that he was going to do something amazing. And so Noah, by faith, walked into the ark. He went into the ark and got in there with those animals, and he obeyed God. And guess what? Out of all the people that lived in the world, Noah and his family were the only ones that survived. So, my friend, in the same way, when the flood comes, when your death comes, make sure that you're in the ark of Jesus. The ark was a type and shadow, almost like a picture of what was to come. So, my friend, when you run to Jesus and you jump in that ark, guess what, man? He saves you, just like he saved Noah and his family. He saved Noah and his family. Look at Lot and his family in Sodom and Gomorrah. In the Old Testament, Lot was living in Sodom and Gomorrah, and they were doing wicked deeds. It said that their wicked deeds came up before God. And so God told, the men in the city came to try to take advantage of the two angels. They wanted to do whatever they wanted to do with them. And so God told Lot to forsake and leave Sodom and Gomorrah. And he and his daughters, his wife turned back, and she turned into a pillar of salt. But his wife and his daughters were the only ones that survived that city when God brought down the fire of brimstone on Sodom and Gomorrah. And God loves you too, man. So think about that. We might be living in modern day Sodom and Gomorrah, and God's telling us through his Bible, he's saying, run from sin, run from this wicked age. And I wish you would. You know, it's not a run into an old religion where you got to do this or don't do that. You got to obey all these rules. It's a relationship, man. Just like you've got a relationship with your mother, your father, your sister, your brother, your friend. God's relationship is like nothing else. It's a relationship that he calls us to. He demands that we come into it. Otherwise, we have to face the sins ourselves. So think about that for a second. God is calling you into a relationship with him right now. And you can, this thing's kind of, Lord, please bring the speaker back on for me. Let's shorten it. Lord, please use this for your glory. I'm tired. Please use this speaker. Please heal it. All right, so I plugged it back in. I'm hoping it's going to work for a few more minutes. But anyway, God is calling us to depart from our wicked lifestyles. He called me to do it. He's calling you to do it. He's calling the postman. He's calling the president. He's calling the police officer. He's calling all people to repent, to turn towards Christ. And think about Christ. When he died on the cross for us, he died to set us free from the penalty. Now think about that. That death was miserable. That death that he died on the cross was horrible. You know, it said that they ripped his beard out, they slapped him, they put a crown of thorns on his head. Those things probably dug into his scalp, and it was very painful. It says that they scourged him. Now the scourging, a lot of people have seen that where he was whipped with the cat of nine tails. And a lot of people say that that was just a bad beating, but the Romans actually called that the Roman half-death, because half the people that were beaten, dropped it again. Half the people that were beaten with the scourge of the Romans died. That's how terrible that thing was, is that a lot of the people that were beaten like that died. So Jesus was beaten mercilessly by those Roman soldiers. He did that for us. The Bible says in the Old Testament that it pleased God to crush the Son. It pleased him because he loves us, but he has to deal with that sin. So they made him carry the cross. He's been bleeding and beaten. He's been beaten, and he carries the cross to Calvary, and then they put him up there, and then the Romans take a set of nails, and they drive it into his hand. They drive it through his feet and nail him to a cross. So he's supporting himself on the cross by hands and feet that are nailed through. That's got to be so excruciatingly painful. I mean, most of us consider ourselves to be pretty strong, but to be able to hold yourself up by being impaled by a nail to a wooden beam, it's amazing. But he endured that. He endured that because of his great love towards mankind, and because that is the only way to prevent God's wrath from pouring down on us, is through Jesus and what he went through on the cross. So they came to him, and in the Old Testament it said that none of his bones would be broken. And the Jews said, we need to take Jesus down before Sabbath comes. And so what they did is there were two other criminals that were crucified with him, and they said, well, let's speed up the process of crucifixion, and let's break his legs. Break his legs. So they came to break his legs, and they found out that he was dead. But the Romans were masters at murder. The Roman soldiers were experts at killers. They were expert killers. And so guess what they did to make sure he was dead? They took a spear and drove it into his side. And the Bible says that water and blood flowed from the wound. Now, how does water flow from a person's body? And it says in the Bible that when you pierce the heart, that there's a water sac that covers the heart that flows out. So when they pierced him, water and blood both flowed out of the wound. So the Romans knew that they had killed him because they pierced him through the heart and it killed him. And guess what? That still pleased God. It pleased God to crush him. That's how much God's love is that he would slaughter, or he would lay down his life and be slaughtered for us to go free on Judgment Day. That's an amazing thing. So then they took Jesus, and Joseph of Arimathea begged for his body for the Romans, and they took his body and they laid it in a tomb that no man had ever been buried in before. It was a stone tomb that they buried him in, and they put him in there. And the Bible even says that in his death he would be buried in a rich man's tomb in the Old Testament. That was prophesied hundreds of years before he was put in the tomb. And so to make sure that his body was not stolen, they posted Roman guards on the tomb and rolled a very large stone across the empty grave. At that time, when they put that stone across the grave, 3 days later, an angel came and they said that he opened the door, and then guess what? Jesus was resurrected. He resurrected himself. He says, I lay down my life and I take it up again. So think about that. Do you know anybody that has been in the grave for 3 days? Help me with this, Mike. This thing's terrible. So he's in the grave for 3 days, and he comes back to life, and he is seen by hundreds of people. Hundreds and hundreds of people see the resurrected Jesus. And now think about this for a second. Here's a real case for the believability of the Bible, is that many of his disciples died for what they saw, not what they believed. A lot of people will give their lives for stuff that they believe. But the disciples were slaughtered by the Romans and also in other parts of the world by different people because of what they saw. They saw the resurrected Jesus. So think about that. Do you commonly find people giving their lives for something that's a falsity, that's a lie? No, of course not. Most people, when they're put to the mark, will not give their life for a lie. So they believed, and his disciples went all over the planet. Thomas is said to have gone to India. Paul is said to have gone to Spain. Paul was actually murdered in Rome. He was beheaded because of his belief in Christ. So guess what, my friends?